Coming up on this edition of Mustang News, we take a look at a local pumpkin patch.
Pumpkin spice cotton candy, which I didn't even know they made until recently, but we're going to be selling some pumpkin spice cotton candy.
After that, we will take a look at what we do in the shadows. Not our weekend nightlife activities, that is, but another free film available on Canopy. All this and more coming up. Hello and welcome to Mustang News. I'm Sam Mitchell.
And I'm Jessica Wollenberger. It's October, and you know what that means: pumpkin everything. We take a look at a new pumpkin patch located a few towns over. Katie's Pumpkin Patch is an idea over a year in the making. Local church Byers Assembly, located in Byers, Texas, runs Katie's Kids Camp that takes place every summer. Katie's Kids Camp is an inexpensive summer camp that runs $85 for an entire week of camp, which is about half of what most kids' camps cost. To offset some of the costs that is created to run the camp, the idea of Katie's Pumpkin Patch was created to allow for those to experience the camp during a different time of the year.
This is free. We want people just to come and enjoy the pumpkin patch. Whether you can or can't buy a pumpkin, doesn't really matter. We want you to come and experience the pumpkin patch. So when you get here and you park, the trailer ride is completely free, so you'll get to ride the trailer with you and your kids or your family up to the patch. And then once you get up to the pumpkin patch, you can get off there and you can take as many pictures as you want. You can play the little games that we'll have set out around the pumpkin patch. Some things similar to cornhole, similar to ladder ball. We'll have a pumpkin tic-tac-toe table, a lot of things like that set out around the pumpkin patch.
Depending on the amount of traffic, the trailers are expected to run from the parking lot to the patch roughly every 10 minutes. The only thing that you will need to have money for will be the pumpkin or any concessions that you choose to purchase. Katie's Pumpkin Patch will run every Saturday in October from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
For more information and directions to Katie's Pumpkin Patch, you can visit the Katie's Kids Camp Facebook page. Make a trip to this fall over to Byers, Texas, where you can get your pumpkin fix. In other local news, starting October 4th, you can take home a piece of professional artwork for the fraction of the price. The Kemp Center for the Arts will be opening one of its annual exhibits, the Mystery Art Fest, beginning October 4th. While the names of the artists are still a secret, the center gives local residents a chance to bid on art starting at $35. The artwork will be judged as well as awarded on the opening day of the exhibit and will be displayed for 3 weeks ending October 26th with a silent auction at 6:30 p.m. followed by a live auction at 7:30 p.m. The exhibit will also host several receptions that will be free and open to the public.
This is our Mystery Art Exhibit, which is an annual exhibit. It involves an art gallery exhibit and an auction. All of the artwork is submitted by artist donors. They allow us to hang it in the gallery anonymously, so their names are not attached to the work during the length of the show. And then at the very end of the month, we do an auction. It's a silent auction where people can come in and make bids on the pieces, and then certain pieces that get a maximum dollar amount bid will go to live auction, and we have a live auction event at the end of the month.
These receptions offer the public a chance to sample champagne and spirits while observing hundreds of pieces of art. The exhibit itself is also free and open to the public at the center's location on Lamar Street. Auction night is high-paced and competitive, so don't miss out of getting what piece you want. Current artwork is now accessible at www.artcouncil.wichitafalls.org.
A new campus organization plans to boost recruitment by allowing students to practice their improv skills.
The Mustang Improv Troupe is a new group of student leaders who have decided to make a movement to start programs that focus on the arts and increasing student enrollment and pride. Psychology major Carl Alford had the idea for a low-cost organization that could connect students of all fields of study.
When I first joined the school, they said the big problems were that we didn't have enough school pride and that our student enrollment sort of kind of was lame. And I was like, all right, so what can we do as students to fix that?
Alfred's vision for the group is to connect students across all departments and eventually travel to other schools to promote the arts at MSU. He not only believes that this will benefit the school, but also benefit the students as they build skills needed for their professional careers.
Improv is really nice because no matter what in life, there's going to come that point where you have to have that job interview or that job presentation or something, no matter what field. Even from chemistry down to teaching, you're always public speaking. And if your boss is worth his salt or her salt, they're going to throw a really good curveball at you. And if you can get that curveball and swing it right into a home run, that's that promotion, that's that new doorway.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Alan Quesada is a chemical engineer major who expresses his passion for theater through improv.
I'd say join because this is a really fun club. We also are looking for a lot of members because we want to have bigger groups to have more competition-wise. We want to be able to compete versus each other, but with a group of 4, it's kind of hard.
Since joining the group, Alexander Collins has learned to be more spontaneous in handling life situations.
That's exactly what improv is. It's live, it's unpredictable, you never know what the other person's gonna say, but you always have to just be like, okay, this is what's been said, I've gotta go with it. And if there's a problem that happens, just continue on with it, just like life.
Sir, is there anything I should be aware of?
The improv troupe meets every Wednesday from 5 to 7 in the Studio Theater. With Mustang News, I'm Jesselyn Castro.
To hear more from the Mustang Improv Troupe, tune in to future episodes of our podcast and variety show. After the break, we will hear about Social Media Day, hosted at MSU Texas this past Monday.
Touchdown, Mustangs!
Hey Mustangs fans, it's time to secure your seat to witness MSU Texas's drive for a 4th Lone Star Conference title. It's a packed home slate featuring rivalry games against Texas A&M Commerce, Tarleton State, and West Texas A&M, as well as a national showdown with the Argos of West Florida. And you can see all the action for just $75 for your reserved seat. You buy 5 games and get 1 free. No lines and no fuss. Purchase your season tickets today at msuticketsonline.com.
Welcome back, Mustangs. Our own Morgan Hare tells us about a fun event we hosted this week.
The Mass Communication Department hosted its annual Social Media Day this last Monday. Social Media Day is a day where anyone and everyone can learn the ins and outs of various social media outlets, get the do's and don'ts of social media, and hear from professionals in the Wichita Falls area. Some of the sessions included assessing your social media presence to hearing from a social media meteorologist. We talked to junior mass communication major Jaden Lane about why Social Media Day is beneficial for college students.
In today's world, social media is really important, even in jobs and things like that. So it's good to know how to work your social media, how to market yourself or your business that you're working for.
99 people piled into the multi-purpose room in Legacy Hall, including 35 high school students and teachers. MSU Texas invites high schoolers every year so they can start learning how to use social media properly from a young age. Chloe Clymer, a senior at Wichita Falls High School, shares her takeaways from Social Media Day.
So I think Social Media Day is important because it teaches us how to be responsible when posting stuff online.
With another successful Social Media Day in the books, MSU Texas is already excited for and planning for the upcoming year. If you're still around next year, make sure you check it out. For MNG Media, I'm Morgan Hare.
It doesn't matter how old you are, social media is important. If you attended this year's Social Media Day, check out www.msutexas.edu/smday for the headshots taken or to get a recap on the speakers.
Now let's head over to our own Latoya Fondren for a behind-the-scenes look to the popular Fantasy of Lights.
Yes, thanks, Jessica. With the holiday coming up in the next couple of months, the university has begun its preparation for the biggest annual Christmas tradition in Wichita Falls. Reporter Trey Jones has more information on this big venue.
Today, I'm here at the MSU Burns Fantasy of Lights Workshop Day, where every year people from around the community come out to help repaint and clean up all of the exhibits to get them ready for the Christmas display. Every year in the fall semester, dozens of students varying from elementary all the way to college come out and volunteer to help get all of the displays ready for their annual Christmas debut.
This workday was an amazing chance for different members of the community to get a good behind-the-scenes look at the process all of the Christmas displays go through before being set out on campus to kick off the holiday season. With so many different high schools being in this area, there are some rivalries that come with that. Students from Old High, Ryder, and Hershey all came out to volunteer and put those feelings aside to become one for the community event. Sophomore at Old High, Kiera Iuchi, says it is such a great way to bring together the community, and everyone from different schools can put aside their rivalries and come together to get this annual tradition ready for display.
I think it shows that we all want to help our community and show that Wichita Falls has really, we're really proud about where we live, and we want to keep everything looking nice. We want to, everybody who comes and tours, they can see the Fantasy of Lights looking beautiful.
The ones who came to help volunteer were able to see some of their favorite displays up close and personal, such as the Peter Pan display, Santa's Workshop, and the big robot that blows bubbles for its visitors. MSU had volunteers from different student organizations come out and be a guide for which displays needed cleaning and which ones needed painting done in a certain way. Coordinator of the workday, Dirk Welch, says he is very excited about this entire venue and says he is amazed at how the community can come together as a whole group consisting of different age students and help get the Fantasy of Lights ready for their showing.
We are very, very blessed to have the type of support that we've had today, but it's a wonderful opportunity for the community to come out, get to see it, participate, and get up close and personal with the displays.
The Fantasy of Lights will be open for the public on Monday, November 19th on the MSU Texas campus. From Mustang News, I'm Trey Jones.
With this being the 44th annual display, the lights are expected to really bring the community together. The usually peaceful experience at MSU Texas has recently turned into a day full of loud, disturbing noises. The construction in front of the famed Fine Arts building has caused quite the inconvenience, and some students aren't very happy about it. I looked into the construction problem and discovered why it affects students.
Be completely silent at one point, and then out of nowhere there's just a huge, you can feel the walls shaking and everything, that it's so loud.
I'm standing right here in front of the construction site that is located right in front of the Mass Communications building, which has caused such an uproar for students. Jackhammers, debris, and loud noises has caused quite the inconvenience for students, as it has caused late arrival times and even mud on their shoes.
Not only are the sounds a disturbance for students during class time, but the wired fence surrounding the building's entrance has forced many students to plan ahead by taking longer routes that are unsafe. Chloe Phillips, Mass Communication Junior, says she almost tripped on the stones that were placed down in the dirt for students to walk on.
They did such a generous idea or job. They gave us these 3 little stepping stone things we had to step on, and one was unstable, and to be honest, I almost fell because it was moving like this. And then also, it is really annoying because sometimes you hear all the drills and stuff, it's distracting.
With students having to walk on stepping stones, they've also discovered a route on the side of the building that's located right beside the construction site that's covered behind the trees. Kyle Owen, Associate Vice President of Facility Services, says they are extending the Mustang path, and construction started late due to other construction jobs that were taking place on the other side of the Mass Communications building.
Track said that the contractor would complete all this work by the time school resumed in August. It clearly did not happen. However, the areas are functional. They can be occupied. They're just not finished. So the best option would be to find another path that avoids the construction altogether. And that's what I would recommend. The shortest path between 2 points. But for your own safety, you're all better off going the other route.
For Mustang News, I'm Latoya Fondren.
When I spoke with Kyle Owen, he also said the construction is expected to go on for another 4 to 5 weeks, so students will no longer have to suffer anymore. But until then, try to take a more safer route to get to your classes, even if it means planning ahead to get there. Now, if students have any questions or concerns about the construction, they can contact Facility Service at the MSU's website. And now, here's our very own Ara Washburn with the latest Mustang News Review.
Thanks, Latoya. Hello, I'm Ara Washburn, and welcome to Mustang's Movie Review, a series in which we review movies from Canopy. Canopy is a free streaming service provided to students with their tuition and fees, and this week we watched the movie What We Do in the Shadows, directed by Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement. What We Do in the Shadows is a mockumentary that documents the lives of 4 vampires that live in a flat together in modern-day New Zealand. This witty, hilariously dry documentary is the perfect movie to raise anyone's mood. The acting is the single biggest attribute of this film. The directors are notorious for relying heavily on the actors' improvisations, so the movie hinges entirely on their performances. All of the actors have excellent chemistry and comedic timing. They portray realistically awkward interactions with one another, and you feel like these vampires are genuine friends. Though the movie is a comedy, it does not shy away from having genuine touching moments to give the audience pause from its many laughs. After the break, we'll check out last week's football highlights with Trey Jones over in Sports Scene.
Each path to success is a journey.
At MSU Texas, you can set yourself up for success while learning on your own terms. Faculty mentors, research opportunities, real-world experiences, and individual attention are just a few of the many advantages of an MSU Texas education.
Live, lead,
And learn in a vibrant, creative community.
make connections that will last a lifetime, and prepare for the careers of tomorrow, today.
Take the first step of your journey with MSU Texas.
Welcome to Sports Scene, I'm Trey Jones. The undefeated 5th-ranked football team took on Eastern New Mexico last Saturday in a game that was much closer than expected. The Mustangs fell behind early 7-13, but in the last 5 minutes of the first half, the Mustangs scored a touchdown and a field goal to end the half with a score of 17-13. However, in the second half, Midwestern State came out swinging with touchdowns from both Jawan Johnson and Justin Jones that helped close out the game 31-23. Quarterback Leighton Rapp had yet another dominant game in his excellent season so far, throwing for 310 yards and 2 touchdowns. Vincent Johnson and Justin Jones both rushed for touchdowns on their own, helping seal the victory for Midwestern. After their victory last week, Midwestern State was bumped 1 spot in the AFC CA rankings. The newly 4th-ranked Mustangs will face 9th-ranked Texas A&M Commerce at Memorial Stadium this Saturday for Family Weekend. For many students on the campus, the flag football season is one of the most popular rec sports on campus, and it's getting near playoff time. The teams in the men and women's leagues have fought hard over these past few weekends, and now playoffs are just around the corner. Teams are formed in different ways, from sororities and fraternities to just friends deciding to play some football together. But that does not matter come playoff time. Kinesiology major and rec sports supervisor Keely Ralston explains the formats of the playoffs.
Playoffs start on Thursday for flag football, so if you aren't on a team, then you will not be able to play. But if you're on a team, that starts on Thursday, and it goes for about 2 weeks. Every team gets in the playoffs unless your sportsmanship is already low. So basically, if you have like bad sportsmanships to other players, or like the refs, or to us, then you'll get docked. But that's so. If you have good sportsmanship, then you'll automatically get into playoffs.
The first round of playoffs start today at 6 with the Headhunters taking on Sigma Nu. To find out how the bracket looks, you can go to imleagues.com to see who will make it to the next round. We will cover both men's and women's flag football team championships on the next Sports Scene. Coming up next, we have an interview with Channel 6 Sports Director Brian Schroll. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, Mustangs, and welcome to Mustangs Corner, where we sit down with people from the community and hear more about what they do. Today we have with us Sports Director from Channel 6, Mr. Brian Schroll. Thank you for being here with us today, Brian.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So we really wanted to sit down with you because we heard you recently graduated from college and you immediately jumped into being the sports director at Channel 6. So can you tell us a bit about your transition post-college?
Yeah, so I graduated in May, moved here the beginning of June, and then just started the job. So I kind of have to get a lot of credit to my professors for how much they prepared me at the end of my senior year just to be ready to kind of go into the field. And then my parents did a good job of, I guess, raising me because I was responsible enough to be able to move from college to live on my own with very short time. And I like that more than kind of taking some time off, especially in this industry, because it gave me some time during the summer to kind of get acquainted to the area and whatnot, and the job before the busy high school football season started.
Right. Well, can you tell us anything since being in your position that you've learned that maybe you didn't learn in college?
I think the biggest thing I've learned is time management is so key. I have a certain amount of time for the 6 o'clock and the 10 o'clock to fill, and there's only so much time during the day to get stuff done. So I really have to prepare the day before or early the day before I even go into work of what am I wanting to do that day, how am I going to fill my time, what stories and whatnot, and then really planning out my time and using it effectively so that I'm not getting in and wasting my time just trying to figure out what I'm doing. I can actually go out and shoot my stories or get stuff done early, and I'm not scrambling at the last minute.
Right. Well, can you kind of tell us what the day in the life of a sports director is?
It's a lot of social media, Twitter, seeing what's going on, making sure you're kind of in the know, and then I go into the station around 2 p.m. every day and just start putting together my 6 o'clock show, whether that's going out to shoot our high school game of the week stuff, or if there's volleyball games, or if MSU soccer is playing or whatnot, just kind of knowing the schedule for that day, and then figuring out, am I getting interviews for certain stories, am I putting together bigger stories, shorter stories, whatnot, and I spend the first 4 hours kind of getting that 6 o'clock ready, and then adding to it after for the 10 o'clock, while also planning for the rest of the week. And especially in high school football season, it's planning for the Friday show, getting that show ready, making sure we know what games we're going to go cover, what games we're not going to go cover, how we're going to cover it all. And there's a lot of different pieces that go into the final product.
Right. It sounds like a full day from
Yeah,
start to finish.
It is.
Well, do you have any advice that you could give any of our soon-to-be graduating seniors here with the degree that they're getting also in broadcasting?
I would say follow what you're passionate about. For me, it was sports, and so where I am now, it doesn't feel like work a lot of the time. If you find something that you are passionate about, it doesn't feel like work that often. Sometimes there's stuff you don't want to do or whatnot, but if you find that thing you're passionate about, and then don't be afraid to go after it. I applied for 57 jobs. It's a lot, but this industry is hard, so continue to kind of pursue that. Even if you don't get interviews or you don't get it right away, continue going after it, because most likely something will pan out eventually.
Right. Well, you heard it here first, Mustangs, and that's all the time we have left today for Mustangs Corner. So again, Brian, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, that's it for this edition of Mustang News. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at MNG Media, and like us on Facebook. Be sure to tune in next time for Mustang News.